Welcome to CATAAnet TV. We're pleased to have with us today Barry Gander, Executive Vice President of CATA, who's going to share with us his experiences in setting up the Network Vehicle Foundation, as well as generally some of the research that we're doing with the National Research Council on test beds, best practices. Welcome, Barry.
Thank you very much, John. Good to be here.
So, Barry, this is a pretty exciting project you're involved in. How did this all happen, and what's it all about?
Well, by tendrils. We discussed the project with colleagues down in California and South Carolina, and we realized that a mega sector is developing. Unbeknownst to most people, the positioning of the information and communications technology, or ICT sector, with the automobile sector brings two huge things together. In Canada, there's something like $100 billion in auto sales a year and $150 billion in ICT sales, and when you put them together, they actually accelerate each other into the rise of something that will bring brilliant new opportunities for both sectors and the people who work in both sectors. What it means is that of the billion vehicles that are out there now, almost all of them are autonomous. They run around the roads and don't talk to each other, and they don't talk to the big network that we've grown to know and love in the world around us. What's happening now is that there will be a seamless blending of the automotive sector and the broadband world that you live in that you don't even think about, like Facebook and Google and all of the services, your office services, Outlook and so on. All of that will flow seamlessly into your car or into the fleet of trucks if you're an owner of a fleet of trucks, and it will help with everything from the management of traffic through to the flow of cars across borders to the health and safety of the passengers. You will be able to receive the benefits of the broadband information society in your vehicle. And it means an awful lot in terms of what's driving, as it were, the vehicle market today. 80% of the innovation in vehicles today is driven by software development. There's $1 billion worth of software that's put against each car model each year. And that means that in a new car model, in an upper class of car model these days, but there will be 100 million lines of software code in that car. Now, to me, that's personal, because when I first started out work, I was working for companies like Nortel, and it was a big deal to have 20 million lines of code in the most sophisticated of the digital phone switches. And now you've got 5 times that in an automobile that's driving down the road. It's an incredible breakthrough, John.
Just very exciting. Now, I understand you just got back from South Carolina at the BMW test facility. So it seems to me you have some pretty leading thought leaders part of this initiative. Can you tell us a bit who some of the organizations are that are involved, and then maybe a little bit who you'd like to see involved?
Oh, thank you. Yes, we happen to, by fortunate circumstance, grab the attention right away of the largest ICT companies in the world, and we now have working on this project with us the vice presidents of research and worldwide sales of automotive in Intel, Cisco, Hewlett-Packard, IBM, Computer Associates. Name the company, and they're all working in the Network Vehicle Foundation, which is the organization we set up to do this. The reason they're there is that, oddly enough, no other organization exists that's taking the ICT side of this merger of the two sectors and thrashing it through for them. So we have now had 2 events. We're planning our 3rd in San Francisco in February, and it's already been called the premier event of the networked ICT sector. So we're really doing very, very well, John, yes.
And of course, QNX has an application. So really you're looking at every type of application that can plug in.
That's right. In fact, if you're a company that has software applications or a service or a mobile device that you think would benefit by being in a car, then contact us, because we can provide you with a huge new market that's very, very exciting. Microsoft, for example, last year doubled the size of its research lab developing applications for this in a tough economic environment. And when a company like that moves to that kind of development, you know something real is happening. The other companies are really, really excited, because when you take a look at what happens in a car these days, it's almost the last period of time that a person has in his or her day in which they can be reached. There's an average time of 1.5 hours where you're driving each day, And you could use that time to access a health service for diabetic control, for example. And we're doing that with CA and HealthScreen and BMW. There are prototypes that we've got underway for many other kinds of things. But basically, if you're trying to reach people and demonstrate a product or a service or use it or charge for it, then that 1.5 hours of drive time is a very, very precious commodity. And you should connect with us if you're a software or a device company, or a car company, in fact, and part of that supply chain.
So we talk about the Innovation Nation. It looks like that this potentially can be a very important part of it. And I understand that in the fall you're also meeting with some members of Parliament. And what's the purpose of that, of meeting with them?
Yes, John, thank you. That is the right note exactly, because the movement has caught a lot of people, the excitement of it, by surprise. The MPs have found out about a project that we're doing called the Networked Highway Test Bed. And the project involves first a research phase, but the basic idea is to push a highway from Detroit all the way to Quebec City, a distance of over 1,000 kilometers, through every kind of terrain, so that companies can test their broadband applications in the cars and find out how well they work, how well they could work with others, meet other partners, and we would set it up as an administrative structure in a consensual sense so that everybody is a partner as well as being part of the project. So we're very, very delighted that the MPs are picking up on this, and we'll be meeting them and talking to them about that.
Barry Gander, Test Beds, Innovation Nation, Network Vehicle. Barry, thanks for joining us, and I look forward to your updates.
Thank you very much, John. I might even phone it to you next time from my car.
Good, sir.
Thank you very much.